Mhm. Okay, good morning. Just check. Slide is visible and voice is audible.
Yes, sir.
So moment of inertia. Today we will see. In last lecture we were solved problems related to center of gravity. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Today we will see moment of inertia. One problem I have given for the homework. I hope you have solved that. One of the problems. Just I have told a little bit challenging problem I have given. So if you have solved, it's good. If not, we will try it. One problem I think I have given. Anybody has solved this problem?
Yes.
Solved? Say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Solved. Okay. Have you got answer?
हा सर पण करेक्ट आहेत का नाही माहित नाही.
That I on that day I have told no. I will
Yes,
tell
sir.
answer. Maybe you remind me at last. I will tell answer. I think 2 point, not 2 point. I think I have to check now that what is that answer. I will tell answer. Don't worry. We should not waste time. So today we are going to see moment of inertia. Last part of chapter number 4. So moment of inertia. What is it? Okay. The moment of inertia, also known as mass moment of inertia, it may be known as mass moment of inertia, is a quantity that determines the torque needed for a desired speed, angular acceleration about the rotational axis. There may be certain definitions which may come across various definitions for moment of inertia, MI. So we'll see. Then polar moment of inertia, maybe in your M1 or mathematics 1 or mathematics 2, you may come across. Their terms are different, r and theta. Here it is different. What is polar moment of inertia? The moment of inertia about an axis perpendicular. This word is most important. The moment of inertia about an axis perpendicular to the plane of area is known as polar moment of inertia. So if you see, you know better now how axes are defined. Okay. If I will say, suppose x and y axis, something like this. Maybe suppose this vertical and this horizontal, something like this. Suppose x and y. So how will be z axis? So z axis will be perpendicular. I can't show here, no? Perpendicular. So here it will become z. Perpendicular to it. And once we are going to calculate a moment of inertia about that axis, it is known as polar. Polar means perpendicular. In meanwhile, you remember, polar means perpendicular. So this word you can remember. Then what is the pronunciation you are doing in your physics of this word? Gyration, gyration, what was that?
Gyration, radius of gyration.
Okay, radius of gyration. You may be knowing this term. So it is distance from an axis at which the mass of the body may be assumed to be concentrated. The distance from an axis at which the mass of body may be assumed to be concentrated and at which the moment of inertia will be equal to the moment of inertia of the actual mass about the axis. So K is equal to, in short, K is equal to under root moment of inertia divided by area of that, maybe area or that body we will say. So we are going to see unit will be moment of inertia. Unit may be something like the unit of length or distance raised to 4. We will see how it comes. Maybe suppose raised to 4, maybe centimeter raised to 4, maybe meter raised to 4, something like this. For moment of inertia, and what will be the unit of area?
Meter square.
Maybe meter square, centimeter square, square. Okay, and if you write here, suppose raised to 4 divided by meter square, sorry, square. So what will it will become under root? But it will become under root maybe square. Automatically it will give because it is a radius. It is a distance because this term is a distance. Here it is. This term is a distance. That's why. radius of gyration. We will see. Okay. Further, there are two theorems to find the moment of inertia. One is perpendicular axis theorem, and another one is parallel axis theorem. Have you come across this moment of inertia?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Maybe you have heard. I don't know whether you are remembering or not. Now, perpendicular axis theorem and another one is area. In short, about an axis perpendicular to the plane of lamina is equal to sum of the moments of inertia of the lamina about two axes, but that two axes should be perpendicular to each other, means x and y. Once we want to take or we want to apply perpendicular axis theorem, means we want to find which type of moment, polar moment of inertia, izz. If we want to find that izz polar moment of inertia of a body, then it will be ixx plus or moment of inertia about uh, with respect to, we will say about, instead of about I will use with respect to x-axis and with respect to y-axis. Once we are going to add both these, it will give third. Next one is parallel axis theorem. Parallel axis theorem. What is that parallel axis theorem? If we want to find, means what the way we were finding the distances in case of center of gravity from the axis to the certain point, that distance. Here also similarly, we are going to find a moment of inertia with respect to certain axis, that is reference axis. Two axes we have seen. Are you knowing which are they? At the initial stage only, we have seen two axes. Which are they? Anybody is remembering? One is reference axis, x and y,
Centroidal
and
axis and reference axis.
very good. One was centroidal axis, and another one is this reference axis. That two axes we have seen. Okay. So, what is this parallel axis theorem? What it tells, once we want to find a moment of inertia of a body or area about a certain axis which is parallel to centroidal axis. If one axis will pass through centroid, by referring to that, once we want to find moment of inertia, then the formula is given here. IAB. So actually here centroidal axis is GG. Just check at the corner. I have put one of the image. G for centroid axis, that's centroidal axis, and whatever distance is there, the distance is y. It is mentioned. We are going to find. Don't worry. Y and area of that figure. So it will give. Are you getting here? How to apply this parallel axis theorem and perpendicular axis theorem? So perpendicular axis theorem, once we want to find polar moment of inertia, simply we have to add moment about x-axis, moment about or with respect to, moment about or with respect to x-axis and y-axis. Once we are going to add, it will give polar moment of inertia. That is perpendicular axis theorem. Just two moments we want to add. Then parallel axis theorem. Once we are going to, we want to calculate moment about any point, moment about any point, then we have to find first moment with respect to centroidal axis. Okay, then we have to add into that area into distance square. So what will be the we have seen what will be the unit of area? It may be suppose meter square, and this distance square means again meter square. So meter square into meter square. What will be this? Meter raised to 4. And this is already meter raised to 4. So it will give the result. Okay. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So let us solve one problem. Once we will solve one problem, you will come to know that. Because we will think and think. There is nothing output. Let's take before going to problem, first few only two things I will tell here, two geometries. Further are there, that also I will tell. But once we want to find moment of inertia of standard geometry or section, there are two figures. First one is rectangle and circle. Forget about this. Rarely it will come. Hollow rectangle section, rarely. But still, if it is there, you should go for subtraction. So, meanwhile, what is the unit of moment of inertia? unit of distance into raised to 4. Is it okay? Now, once we want to find, suppose for a given rectangle, we want to find, suppose we want to find, suppose this moment of inertia. Maybe suppose this, I will say L horizontal, H vertical. So here there is a centroid. At what distance is that centroid is lying? Or maybe suppose I will say it is x-axis and this is y-axis. It is distance for us with the centroid. Suppose I will say G. What will be this distance? What will be this distance? First,
L by 2 and H by 2.
here L by 2.
here will be L by 2, H by 2. For rectangle, it is very simple. Okay, so this is centroidal axis. So I will say it is a centroidal axis. Okay, GG will be G. So central, about centroidal axis. Once we want to find moment about centroidal axis, how that is formula is here. That formula is here. So students are remaining. I will say mugging up. Mugging means पाठ करने. Ix is equal to b d cube upon 12 because this vertical dimension is d, horizontal is d. We should not mug up this. So once we are going to pass ix means horizontal axis parallel to axis which is parallel to x-axis and passing through centroid, that is ix we will say. Once we want to find that about that axis, centroidal axis igg which is horizontal, so the dimension which is going to cut, we have to make cube of that you should remember. Is for this igg, what will be the igg with respect to x suppose horizontal, which dimension is cutting, whether this vertical is cutting with that with due to that axis or horizontal dimension is cutting. हाच फॉर्म्युला मी इथे अप्लाय करायचं म्हणलं तर काय येईल? What will be that formula? Their dimensions are L and H. मी काय सांगितलं आता, जे डायमेन्शन कट होतंय ix म्हणजे हॉरिझॉन्टल ऍक्सिस मुळे डी डायमेन्शन कट झाले, डी म्हणून जे कट झालं त्याचा आपण क्यूब केला, bd cube upon 12. What will happen here? Which dimension is cutting? Once I am going to pass axis horizontally, कुठलं कट होतंय? H का L? H. क्यूब कोणाचा करायचा?
H.
H. आणि L आहे तसा घ्यायचा. L H cube divided by 12. Like this. You have to apply the magic. अशा पद्धतीने. Similarly, suppose now it was a horizontal. Suppose I will take vertical. About this axis, I will give suppose G1, G2. Again, this axis is passing for G1 to G1, something like this. What will be that? Maybe I will say G1 and G2. G1 means vertical axis passing through centroid. Now, which dimension is going to cut? L or H? Axis more
L.
dimension cut out.
L.
Then we have to make what? Cube of that
L
L.
cube.
HL cube divided by 12. Standard formula. To which dimension we have to make cube? That's why I'm telling. कुणाचा cube करायचं त्याच्यासाठी सांगतोय. Because this is important while solving the problem. Otherwise, it is very difficult. Okay. Further. Okay, this one is for. Have you understood? For rectangle ला कुणाचा क्यूब करायचा लक्षात आलं? This formula is we can say standard one. Either you can say bd cube upon 12 or lh cube divided. Dimension doesn't matter. Notation, I will say notation. But for which dimension you have to make cube, that is important. It is okay. Then if it is hollow rectangle, then we have to subtract instead of bd cube now outside dimension divided by inside dimension. Outside dimension minus, first you have to find polar moment of inertia, or not polar moment of inertia for the outside dimension or outside geometry minus inside geometry. Application of logic of application is same, there is nothing. And one more for the circle, it is a symmetrical, so this formula there is nothing to discuss about this formula is standard. Pi d raised to 4 divided by 64. So initially, only we will discuss these two, rectangle and circle. Once it will come into picture, further geometries I will tell. So this is important. For which dimension we have to make cube? That is important. Okay, let us go further. So we will solve one problem. You will understand the procedure. Okay, so let us see problem statement. Calculate the moment of. Are you with me? Shall we go for problem?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Unless and until we will not solve problem, you will not understand what it is. Calculate the moment of inertia. Calculate the moment of inertia about erase now. Calculate moment of inertia about horizontal and vertical gravity axis, Ixx and Iyy of the section as shown in following figure. This our regular procedure. Means for this, which type of section is this? Now I have.
T section.
Section.
Yes, it is a T section. Okay, so for this we want to find Ixx and Iyy. Okay, these we want to find. Let us see one by one. So first thing we have to give axis for this. That is our first task. X and Y axis we have to define first. Okay. So here, first task, whatever we have seen. Shall we start to solve this problem?
Yes.
So
Yes, sir.
first step in this finding out moment of inertia is to find CG. That first step is required. For a given diagram, we should find first the CG. So that we have seen. Okay, so if you will divide, it may happen sometimes. It may happen. For example, suppose first step is to find CG. Suppose one of the diagram is suppose we can say maybe suppose I'm just giving example. Maybe suppose something like this. It is suppose symmetrical. Suppose 10, 10. This one is 40, and this one is suppose 60. तर याचा CG कुठं असेल हो? कोण सांगू शकेल का? X and Y. This one is also 60. I will say 60, this 60, 40. Maybe this
30 and
40, maybe
30.
this
Yes, sir. 30 and 30.
30 and 30. Okay. On which basis you are saying it is? Symmetry.
Symmetry.
Yes, sir.
Symmetry. So if suppose a problem is asked in your exam, for this I am saying, for this, find out the CG for the given figure. Find CG. That's a problem which is for suppose 6 marks. So if you write directly, G is equal to 30, 30. Will you get 6 out of 6 marks? तुम्ही डायरेक्टच लिहिले आता CG 30, 30 वर आहे. Will you get marks if problem is asked to find the center of gravity for the given figure and this is the figure? Will you get out of out mark here? Your answer is correct. You
No.
are told orally. You are told orally, but it is correct. You have taken advantage of what? Symmetry of object. This object is symmetrical. So directly you can locate its CG. You can. But is it expected to do this? Because you have to apply proper procedure and then you have to find answer. Is it correct? If the question is something like find the CG, something like this. If suppose question is like find the moment of inertia, maybe Ixx, Iyy, then in that case, if you will write your first sentence as object is symmetrical about both the axes, horizontal and vertical axis, its CG lies on, or its CG will be this. Then in that case, it is valid. It will be valid, not necessary to go for calculation because you have taken advantage of symmetry. It may be, but question is only to find CG and you are writing directly within one sentence. As the object is symmetrical, its CG will be this. You will not get marks. Are you getting what I want to tell? So if you are, मला काय सांगायचं कळालं का तुम्हाला इथं?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Means if at all here you will write this one is, we can say, symmetrical. So for this object, whatever object is there in front of you, whether it is symmetrical,
About y-axis symmetrical only.
yes, about y-axis. This object means it's which coordinate you can find first without calculation. कुठला coordinate? सेंट्रॉइडचा कुठला coordinate तुम्हाला भेटू शकतो?
X coordinate.
Yes, x coordinate. And what will be that?
5.
Yes, as object is symmetrical about y-axis or vertical axis, y-axis x bar equal to, directly लिहू शकतो असं. If you are not understood, जर कोणाला समजत नसेल तर आपण कॅल्क्युलेट करू, but you can write in this way also. X bar, only your task is to find y bar. First task to divide this object into standard part. किती पार्ट मध्ये डिवाइड करूया आपण? rectangle 1 having dimension suppose 10 into 2, rectangle 2 having dimension 2 into 8. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
So now for this standard geometry, what I have to find? First one is a1, then x1 and y1. What is a1? For rectangle 1, a1 काय असतो आपला?
20.
20.
area of standard geometry 1, that will be 20 centimeter square. Okay, what about x1? X1, what is x1? I have told one story related to x1. What is x1? What is x1?
5.
It's a coordinate
5.
of a rectangle first.
Correct. X coordinate of centroid of rectangle 1. What is that? किती होतो? किती असेल याचा? त्या वरच्या डायग्रामचा कुठं असेल याचा सेंट्रॉइड? इथं असेल कुठंतरी, बरोबर आहे?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
किती
5.
अंतरावरती असेल?
5.
5 centimeter. And what about y? I will say for
9.
this as a g1. So 8 plus 1, 9.
Yes, sir.
Or shall I write this? 8 plus 1 equal to 9. Shall I write in this way? You will get. Now, any problem up to this? मी काय कसं काढलं लक्षात आलं का? x1 कसा काढला, y1 कसा काढला, what is x1, what is y1, what is that? You should remember. Next one, this I have found. a2. In centimeters square. Then x2. What is x2?
5.
5 centimeters. Okay. What is y2? Just check.
4.
There is problem with the internet. If I am getting message. Okay. Y2?
4.
4.
4 centimeters. We know now how to find x bar. How to find x bar?
A1
1
x1
x1 plus a2 x2 upon a1 a2. a1 plus a2.
Calculate this. Upon a1 plus a2. Calculate this. Similarly, y bar equal to a1 y1 plus a2 y2 divided by a1 plus a2 equal to, calculate. What is x bar of centroid of
5.
is it exactly 5? Others also, please reply.
Yes, sir.
Is it 5?
Yes, sir.
आणि आपण इथं काय म्हटलं होतं बघ, इथं म्हटलंय बघा, काय म्हटलंय मी इथं, एक्स बार हा 5 सेंटीमीटर वर असेल. आला का आपला एक्स बार अजून 5 सेंटीमीटर वरती?
Yes, sir.
Because due to symmetry it should come at 5 only. What about y bar? Now you calculate very carefully y bar. How much it is? Or I have to calculate?
$6.77.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
6.77.
77.
Okay, 6.77 centimeter. Okay. So this we found. So I will write here G equal to 5 and 6.77. Okay. So where will be the centroid of rectangle 2? It was म्हणले आपण x to 5 आणि 4 means it will be here. 4 means it may be here somewhere. And where will be the combined centroid? 5 and 6.67 means it will be here somewhere. So it असेल capital G. I will give notation as capital G here. एक लक्षात तो थोडासा वरती आहे ना. Y distance here y2 is 4 centimeter and y bar is 6.67 means it will be here. Up to this, any problem? Just we have located centroid of individual rectangle, and now we have what we are going to do. येते का लक्षात काय केलं मी?
Yes, sir.
Just I have located centroid of individual rectangles plus combined the centroid by capital G. I have located now. Now we want to find Ixx. So what we have to do to find what is Ixx? X-axis is here. X-axis is here. So why it is? So once we are going to draw parallel axis from this, suppose I will draw parallel axis from this. So I will say here G2, suppose it is passing through G2, axis G2 and combined here. So how to find? By using parallel axis theorem. So this maybe I will say G1 and here also G1, something like G1, G1. So if I want to find now, if I want to find Ixx equal to what we have to say? What that theorem is saying? काय सांगतं ते theorem? Moment about. Now I have to add here moment due to first rectangle, moment due to other rectangle. Is it correct? So how to apply? Directly. Moment about centroid axis first now. So here I have to add moment due to G2. So only I will say about its centroid axis for the first rectangle. Can give attention here. Ixx equal to this G2 plus y a yc or here I will say yg2 square, something like that distance, plus this one is 1 and another one is what is that G1 plus A. Y means distance. Y stands for distance. You remember this. Y maybe distance between them. G1 square. Parallel axis theorem we have applied. Are you getting? काय केलं मी? मला पहिल्या रेक्टँगलचं मोमेंट काढायचं आहे, म्हणजे मी पहिल्यांदा काय करणार, अबाउट सेंट्रोइडल ऍक्सिस आय विल कॅल्क्युलेट विच इज द सेंट्रॉइड ऑफ रेक्टँगल 2. G2 सेंट्रॉइड आहे का? रेक्टँगल 2 चा म्हणतोय मी, आहे का? आर यू विथ मी?
Yes, sir.
Which is the centroid of rectangle 2 and which is the centroid of rectangle 1? Centroidal rectangle 2 G2 and G1 is the centroid of rectangle 1. हे तर सगळ्यांना मान्य आहे. एकाचा G1 कॅल्क्युलेट केला आपण, दुसऱ्याचा G2 कॅल्क्युलेट केला, आणि त्याच्यानंतर काय पॅरलल ऍक्सिस थेरम काय सांगतोय? मोमेंट अबाउट सेंट्रोइडल ऍक्सिस प्लस A into y square means y is distance. You remember y is the distance. You should not take y coordinate etc. Only distance between what? कुठलं डिस्टन्स घ्यायचं आपल्याला ते? Combine the centroid and individual centroid. Y is the distance between combine the centroid and individual centroid. याच्यामधलं डिस्टन्स हे y असतं, and एरिया इंडिव्हिज्युअल एरिया, रेक्टँगल 2 चा एरिया, रेक्टँगल 1 चा एरिया, whatever it will be. Are you with me up to this? आहात का तुम्ही माझ्या बरोबर?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let us go now. Now I will, whatever I have told now, let us, shall I calculate here? Okay. I will calculate here. IG2. Now I want to find moment of rectangle 2. I want to find moment of rectangle 2 or centroidal moment about its centroidal axis. आपण फॉर्म्युला पाहिलाय बघा जस्ट नाव. काय असतो तो इथे सांगितलं, हे सेंट्रोइडल ऍक्सिस IXX सेंट्रोइडल ऍक्सिस. दिस फॉर्म्युला वी हॅव सीन जस्ट बिफोर. काय सांगतो तो? BD क्यूब अपॉन 12. नाउ यू टेल मी व्हॉट विल बी फॉर्म्युला हियर. फॉर्म्युला काय होईल सांगा आता. कोणाचा क्यूब करणार तुम्ही?
8 चा.
Just you have to remember what? Just you have to remember what? Rectangle size. कोणाचा करणार क्यूब सांगा
2
बरोबर.
into 8 cube divided by 12.
Okay, 2 into 8
8
cube
cube divided by 12.
divided by 12 plus एरिया किती आहे रेक्टँगल 2 चा? We have calculated 16.
16.
Yes, sir.
16. Now distance between combine the center and individual center म्हणजे किती असेल डिस्टन्स? कुठली सबट्रॅक्शन करायची? मला हे एवढं डिस्टन्स पाहिजे. आय वॉन्ट टू फाइंड दिस मच डिस्टन्स. y coordinate, distance between y coordinate किती होते?
6.77 minus 4.
minus 4, and that is for that also square. So this one is this. Okay. Plus this one is for one rectangle, another. आता काय येईल तो कोण सांगतोय? Now rectangle 1, rectangle 2 over. Go to rectangle 1. What will be its centroidal moment passing through its centroid G1? कुणाचा क्यूब करणार तुम्ही? 10 or 2?
10 into 2 cube divided by 12.
10 into 2 cube divided by 12 plus एरिया किती हो रेक्टँगल 1 चा?
20.
20 into distance between combine the center and individual center. सांगा कसं करणार? दोन्ही मधला डिफरन्स पाहिजे मला. एनी हाऊ if your subtraction come negative, finally we are going to make it square. So but I will write here 9 minus 6.77. Is it correct? Square. असा येईल.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And this will be your I-axis. करा बरं कॅल्क्युलेट. एवढं मोठं किती येत आहे. Very carefully. Or one by one you can. First you calculate this, then we will go for this. Will you calculate one by one term? First calculate first square bracket, then you calculate other bracket because your calculation may become lengthy. First calculate this one. Or I will also help you to calculate this. 2 into 8 cube. It is cube. Divide by 12. Okay. Plus 16 into 6.77 minus 4. Go. Go na. Go na. Okay. No. Okay, what is first term? Anybody's calculated? First term? Mine is 20. Mine is this. Any other? Huh? Huh? Sakshi. First I have told. Second term now I will calculate. Huh?
$129.65.
Total you are telling or first term?
ते स्क्वेअर करायचं राहिलंय सर.
सर फर्स्ट सेम आले.
Huh?
सर सेम आहे सर.
सेम आले.
First.
Yes, sir. Same.
What about second? Just check.
सर 106.12.
Very good. Correct. Correct. Tell me. 106.12. Very good. Correct. Very good. And equal to then. Addition of both. Just check how much. 314.21.
314.21.
Centimeter raised to. So I have missed here unit. Centimeter raised to 4. Centimeter raised to 4. Okay. Any issue?
No sir.
Very good. So I-XX we have found. Now I-YY. झालं का इथपर्यंत कॅल्क्युलेशन?
Yes sir.
Now I-YY. I will ask one question here. Before going to I-YY, I will ask one question. Whichever एक question येतं. Simple question related to our diagram. Shall I ask one question? Simple question.
Yes sir.
Now, suppose here while calculating I-XX, are you getting? While calculating I-XX, we have taken difference between y coordinate. असं म्हणूया का आपण सेंट्रॉइडच्या y coordinate मधला difference आपण वापरला आहे. Is it correct here?
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
Y coordinate आपण वापरला. Now while calculating I-YY, obviously I am going to use difference between which coordinate of centroids?
X
Centroid मधला कुठल्या
coordinate.
x coordinate मधला difference वापरणार आहे मी आता. Is there any difference between x coordinate between individual centroid and combined centroid?
No, sir.
No sir.
Is there any difference between x coordinates of individual centroid and combined centroid? ह्याच्यामध्ये काय x coordinate मध्ये काय difference आहे का?
No, sir.
You
Second
can-
term 0 येत आहे.
All both In both equations, second term will come 0. Are you agree?
Yes, sir.
Means this will become very easy because object is symmetrical and both all the centroids are lies on single vertical line. So there is no question of difference between x coordinates. So directly I will write I y y. आता काय करायचं कन्सिडर बघा तुमची इमेज इथं तुम्हाला समजते का हा तुमचा रेक्टँगल 1 आहे आणि तुम्ही आय वाय वाय काढताना काय करणार आहे सेंट्रॉइड मधून व्हर्टिकल घेताय बघा आता व्हर्टिकल मग कुठलं डायमेन्शन कट होईल व पहिल्या केस मध्ये ते 2 आहे आणि हे हॉरिझॉन्टल 10 आहे मग कुठलं कट होईल सांगा
10 centimeter.
10 centimeter.
10 centimeter. What will be your formula will become then 2
2
into
into
10
10 divided by 12.
12 divide. सेकंड टर्म येईल का हो इथं या केस मध्ये it
No,
will
sir.
become 0. It will become 0. So we should not. Similarly, इकडे बघा दुसरा रेक्टँगल घेतला आपण हा व्हर्टिकल आहे असं हॉरिझॉन्टल डायमेन्शन आहे 2 हॉरिझॉन्टल 2 and vertical how much vertical 8 no
8.
हा मग आता आपण असं घेणार आहे व्हर्टिकल कुठलं डायमेन्शन कट होतोय व्हर्टिकल ऍक्सिस मुळे 2 का 8
2. 2.
2 मग कुणाचा क्यूब करणार तुम्ही
2 cube.
2 cube divided by 12 calculate
172.
just let me know
172, sir.
172 exactly
Yes, sir.
okay I y equal to 172 centimeter raised to how much
4.
4 so this will be your answer simply हे तिथे तुम्हाला मोमेंट मिळाल आपल्याला एवढंच आन्सर फाइंड आउट करायचं आहे आय एक्स एक्स अँड आय वाय वाय इफ ॲट ऑल इफ यू वॉन्ट टू फाइंड पोलार मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया जर तुम्हाला पोलार मोमेंट विचारलेलं नाही प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये इफ इट इज आस्क्ड if at all it is asked polar moment of inertia polar moment if at all it is asked then what will be the formula त्याला आपण I Z Z म्हणतो बघा
X plus IYY.
I X X plus I Y Y हे विचारलेलं नाही but for your information if at all you want to find you can दोन्हीचे ऍडिशन करा सांगा किती येत आहे I Z Z polar moment of inertia
486.21.
486.91
21.
91 okay 21 centimeter raised to 4 if at all it is asked विचारलेलं नाही पण आपल्या माहितीसाठी only have to add while calculating polar moment of inertia okay have you understood how to find लक्षात आलं का हे कसं फाइंड आउट करायचं आहे if you
Yes.
have understood centroid the centroid कळाला तर हे moment of inertia अगदी सोपं आहे only we have to find distances it is very easy if you have understood centroid जर एखादा ऑब्जेक्ट सिमेट्रिकल असेल तर तुम्ही डायरेक्टली सेंट्रॉइड लोकेट करू शकता नॉट नेसेसरी टू गो फॉर कॅल्क्युलेशन बट फॉलो द प्रॉपर प्रोसिजर नो वरी you can get answer okay any problem you are free to ask same problems will be there in this shall I give one problem or shall we solve one more problem
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
is there any difficulty in this problem
No, sir.
let's go next next are you able to see figure
Yes, sir.
determine moment of inertia of I section as shown in following figure also determine radius of gyration with respect to x and I y y Okay, XX and YY. So are you able to see figure?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
IXX and IYY. Centroid is shown, but dimensions are not given for the centroid. So see the figure carefully and let me know whether this diagram is symmetrical about in axis. Is there any symmetry?
No, sir.
No.
Y-axis.
Sure.
About y-axis symmetric line.
Then what will be its uh, x coordinate of centroid?
300.
Which implies x bar equal to 300. Unit is mm. You can write directly x bar and then you can try for y bar. If not, let us divide this diagram quickly. Rectangle 1. What will be the first we will take? Rectangle 1, suppose we will take as 400 into 14, which implies three things we will find for rectangle 1. Which are they? A1 equal to A1 400 into 14.
5600.
Huh?
5600.
M raised to 4. Sorry, M raised to 2. X1
300.
Y1. Calculate Y1 carefully and tell me how much it will be.
$619.
So I will write here. Or I will give here. Y1, this bottom 12 plus 600 plus 14 by 2. Calculate how much it is. Is it correct?
Yes, sir. 690.
690.
One
I am
nine.
writing you
19.
19.
okay 19. Okay, 619 mm. Okay, this is Y1. This is Y1. Okay. Rectangle 1 is over. Rectangle 2. Calculate rectangle 2. What will be A2 for rectangle 2?
6000.
6,000.
Into 10, no? Very good. 6,000. Remember to square out 2. X2
300.
I don't know whether you are imagining. If not, you can give x-axis. I don't know whether students are imagining or not. How I am writing x and y. So first task is to give its dimensions. Okay. In this way, it will be y. So x2, then y2.
312.
312. 312.
So 12 plus 600 by 2. So it will be 312 mm. Okay. Third, rectangle 3, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, which will give, let us say, calculate A3
7200.
7200.
600 into 12 7200
Yes,
mm
sir.
square. Okay, x3. How much will
300
be
and 6.
x3? Hmm?
300 x3 and y3 6.
300 mm and y3
6.
6 mm. Okay. Any problem up to this?
No, sir.
Whose next lecture is there? Whose next lecture is there? Hmm?
Basic mechanical.
Basic mechanical Basavaraj sir or Gadde sir?
Good, sir.
Third basic.
Gadde sir. Okay, you calculate meanwhile. I will call him. If he will give, I will take. We will take so that this chapter will get over today. Can we continue? If sir will permit us.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Meanwhile, you find x bar, y bar. I will call sir. Okay, have you calculated?
X bar is equals to 300.
Hmm. Three hundred. It will come because first sentence itself we have written. Is it correct? First sentence itself we have written. It should come 300. I will not give here something like I will write this directly. I will not write formula because number of formulas we applied. Shall I write here? Is it necessary to write x bar and y bar because number of problems we solved? Still, if some students are unable, I will write that also maybe. A1 x1 A2 x2 plus A3 A3 x3 divided by what is that? A1 plus A2 plus A3. So it is 300 mm. Similarly, y bar. How much y bar? X bar, okay, already we have calculated, but what about y bar? A1 y1, A2 y2, A3 y3 divided by A1 plus A2 plus A3. How much it is y bar? Try to tell answer. Let it be wrong.
286.25.
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Yes, sir.
286.25. You are not having confidence of your answer. That is not good. Whatever you are getting answer, you should tell. Provided that common sense we have to apply. For example, your answer should not be more than this 12 plus 600 plus 14. Centroid should not go out of the object. Something like this. Or it may be at the center somewhere, maybe plus minus here and there. You can apply like that. Vague answer you should not give vague without any thinking. X bar we got, y bar we got. So is there any new thing we have did till now? आतापर्यंत आपण काय नवीन गोष्ट केली का या प्रॉब्लेम मध्ये रिलेटेड टू मोमेंट ऑफ इनर्शिया?
No.
No, sir.
Nothing. Already we have solved it. Are you getting? So what the way I was telling that first step is to find what? Center of gravity. We should find center of gravity or centroid of that object. Then further things we have to go. Okay. Shall I locate here? Maybe for this, I will say G1. G1. So here, half 600 half means it may come where it is coming. Y2 312 and centroid came at 286 means G2 will be somewhat above. Is it correct? About then our this and G is here. Just we are locating and here it is G3. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We have located this. Okay, now what to do now? We want to find Ixx, moment about x-axis. So what is our formula? Very carefully now, as earlier. Ixx equal to, I will write I, shall I write I moment about axis G3. Maybe first we will take IG1, or instead of that I will write maybe, or shall we go like this only? Okay. Square bracket, in square bracket I will write so that you will understand. Now three moments, not moment, moment of inertia we have to add. Three moment of inertia we have to add. Which are they? First one is
IG1.
what?
IG1.
IG1 plus
IG2.
what? The distance is okay. If you
3.707.
distance is also we have to add, no?
Yes, sir.
That also we will add here then. But term I'm
AY square.
A1 A1
G1 just AY G1 square.
A1 Y1 म्हणूया आपण. Meanwhile we will say Y1. It is distance between G1 and combined that. This is one. Then second I G2 plus A2 into Y2 square. Then I G3 plus A3 Y2 square.
Y3.
Y3.
I3 square.
Y3 square. Okay. So just check. Now this is most important line from this chapter. Shall I write here? Whether you are able to see
Yes, sir.
which axis theorem we have applied here. Ixx while calculating Ix. Which axis theorem? याला कुठला axis theorem म्हणायचं?
Parallel axis theorem.
Parallel.
Parallel axis theorem. We are going to say it as a parallel axis theorem. So shall we apply very slowly, because this one is the most important step in this problem. IG1. Consider rectangle 1. 400 into 14. Once I am going to pass horizontal, now we have to consider all the axes passing through the individual centroid passing horizontally. प्रत्येकाच्या individual centroid म्हणून how axes are passing horizontally. So tell me what is the formula here. Which dimension is going to cut for rectangle 1, 400 or 14?
14.
14.
So we have to make cube of
14.
14.
400 into 14 cube divided by how much?
12.
12 plus what is area of rectangle 1? We have calculated already.
5,600.
5,600 into difference between individual centroid and combined centroid. What is y coordinate of combined centroid? 286.25. What is y coordinate of individual centroid? 619. Means in bracket what I have to write?
619 minus 286.25.
Very good. 619 minus okay 286 point what was that? 5, no?
25.
25 square.
Okay, 25 square. This one is one term. Okay. Plus lot many terms are going to come here. Who will tell now next one? कोण सांगतंय बघू? Second now. Consider rectangle 2 or second. Consider rectangle second. Who will tell which dimension is going to cut for rectangle second?
600.
600.
600 means we have to make cube of that. 600. What is horizontal 10, no?
Yes, sir.
10.
10 into 600 cube divided by 12.
Yes. 12 plus. What is the area of rectangle 2?
6,000.
Okay. 6,000 into difference between y coordinate here. Huh? Distance I am finding, so I am intentionally saying distance between y coordinate. What will be that?
312 minus 286.25.
Just wait, I have to check. Yes, 312 and here 286 means 312 is larger. Okay, minus 286.25 square. This one is for second. Plus, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next plus third now. Third rectangle. Who will tell?
600 into 12 cube divided by 12.
Which dimension is going to cut? 12.
12.
It will pass. Okay, then it will be 600 into 12 cube divided by 12 plus area. How much it is area for the third? 7 to
7,000.
the okay into. Now tell me this difference 286.25 minus
6.
6 minus 6 square. Horrible. Okay. Therefore, Ixx, I don't have this now. Ixx equal to, calculate one by one. First square bracket, second square bracket, and third square bracket. Please calculate and tell me. Let me know your calculation, how you are going for your calculation. Hmm? Is it coming so large? I think
Yes, sir.
it is coming very large. I think it is in mm. We might have converted it into meter, etc. Can someone tell? Ixx1 620
Yes, sir.
137 816.7
0.
plus. Okay, let it be. Whatever it will come, you tell. Because figures are coming now so much large. Let it be. 6,000, not 6,000. 10 into 6 cube divided by 12 plus 312 minus 286.25 square. Just check second one. Again, it is coming very large. Is it
3978 375
375? Again, it is very large. Let us see
Third,
whatever it will. Third,
56
calculate third.
56
Huh.
55
56
55
74
74 850
okay 850. If possible, is it possible to tell? This is coming very large. 13696. Just check. 910 910 042 91042 mm raised to 4. Ixx. Let it be. We are not doing calculation. Calculator is doing calculation. Only we have to give input. Have you understood this?
Yes, sir.
Forget about digits. This have you got this answer? But
सर लास्टचं 2 च्या जागी 1 आलंय.
okay, let it be last. You can understand because already this figure we can.
Same आहे, sir.
Okay, when we can understand because this we can say digit is we can 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. How many are there? 3 10 digits. Okay, don't worry. That may if your answer at the end if it is 41, no worries because already this digit is so much large, so it will not make that mistake. Okay, Ixx we found. So on the next figure, I don't have space. What I will do, just wait. Will you calculate IYY? Because I don't have space here. So on next slide, shall I check? Just wait. Okay, here I will find IYY, but again that figure will not be with me. You have to help me to find IYY. To find whether it is over up to IXX. Any problem?
No, sir.
Let us go to this now. IYY to find IYY. Now here, if you will see the figure again, so as we discussed in previous problem, object is symmetrical about vertical axis. It means it's centered. All the individual centroids and combined the centroid will lie on or is lying on vertical axis. Is lying on vertical axis. Is it correct? Similarly, what will happen here? Here there will not be any distance once we are going to calculate IYY. So there is no question of horizontal distance. The distance of individual centroid and combine the centroid is same from y-axis. Are you agree with me? या डायग्राम मधल्या इंडिव्हिज्युअल सेंट्रॉइडचे अंतर आणि कंबाइंड सेंट्रॉइडचे अंतर y ऍक्सिस पासून सेमच आहे असं मी म्हटलं. आर यू गेटिंग व्हॉट आय हॅव टोल्ड?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So there is no question of second term in parallel axis theorem. Parallel axis theorem मधली second term येईल का आता? Because it will become 0. Automatically it will become 0. Means if at all I want to find, can someone tell me? Because the figure will not be in front of me while writing the IYY. Can someone help me? IYY equal to, for the rectangle one, what will be the formula? कुठलं डायमेन्शन त्याचं काय हे होतं? कट होणार आहे आपण वर्टिकल ऍक्सिस घेतला तर 400
Yes, sir.
आणि हॉरिझॉन्टल किती आहे 14. So 14 will remain as it is. 400 is going to cut. So cube of that divided by 12 plus second rectangle कडे जाऊया आपण. Which dimension is going to cut for second rectangle? कुठलं कट होतंय सांगा? रेक्टँगल सेकंड साठी मधला रेक्टँगल. त्याच्या अगोदर मी सांगतो व्हर्टिकल आहे 600 आणि हॉरिझॉन्टल आहे 10 सेकंड रेक्टँगल साठी. 10 आणि 600 कुठलं कट होतंय? 10 आणि 6 10 mm कट होणार आहे. म्हणून मी काय लिहितोय तर 600 ऍज इट इज राहणार आहे. 10 mm कट होणार आहे डिवाइड बाय 12 प्लस थर्ड रेक्टँगल. चला कुठलं डायमेन्शन कट होणार आहे? हॉरिझॉन्टल आहे 600, व्हर्टिकल आहे 12. कट कुठलं होणार आहे रेक्टँगल 3 चं?
600.
600 means 12 into 600
Cube.
cube divided by 12. ह्याचं कॅल्क्युलेशन सांगा मला किती आहे. 12 you can take common, calculate करा आणि सांगा बरं किती येतं. This one is also bigger figure. Can someone tell?
216050466.66.
I'm getting something different. Just check. Okay, your may be correct. Huh? They committed mistake somewhere. I think 14 into 400 cube, 16 into 10 cube, 12.
2907166.
Yes, same.
I think I have committed mistake somewhere. You tell your answer.
2907.
2,
2907.
2907,
16.
16,
66.
66,
67.
67. Point something or up to this much?
No,
6, 7.
Units are in mm, please mm raised to 4. I. So this was our answer, and Ix also you tell here. How much we have calculated? Can someone tell me what was Ix? 1369, 69. What is that? It is something like mobile number. 104. 104. Is it correct? Mm raised to 4. So this was asked. If suppose polar moment of inertia, if it is asked, then
Sum of both.
Sum of both we have to do. But one more thing is asked in this problem. What was that? Also determine the radius of gyration with respect to Ixx and Iyy. What is the formula we have seen for radius of gyration? Radius of gyration equal to, what is that?
Root of I by A.
Root by I upon A. I म्हणजे काय याच्यामध्ये? What is I? Moment of inertia.
Moment of
And what is
inertia.
A? And what is A?
Area.
Area. Okay, so here, suppose I want to find with respect to Kxx. Okay, so what I have to do? Into bracket Ixx divided by area. But our I section become a composition of 3 areas, A1 plus A2 plus A3. So that we have to do. So what is Ixx? We know. किती आहे? 1, 3, 6, 9, 6, 9, 10, 4, 2 divided by area, total area. Can someone tell me what is that? 5600 plus, please tell me if it is there in your notebook. 6000 plus,
7,200.
okay, 7200. And calculate this Kxx. Can someone calculate and tell me how much it is?
7.
What?
Ix वेगळा आले माझं.
वेगळा म्हणजे किती आला?
804288331.8.
IXX IXX म्हणताय का?
सर IX
Then I think you have to check calculation then, because
okay.
let's check somewhere we have committed mistake or what. KXX, calculate KXX.
269.91.
269.91
269.91. Unit will be what for KXX?
meter.
Meter?
Mm.
mm. KXX. Similarly, KYY. KYY. What will be the formula? KYY. IYY divided by A1 plus A2 plus A3. Therefore, KYY equal to how much it is? Same now. Two 907166667 divided by this all area 5600 plus 6000 plus 7200. Therefore, can someone calculate and tell me how much it is?
393.23.
How much?
393.23.
Yes, sir, same.
Yes, sir.
393 point.
23.
Just check. 393 point
23.
23.
23. Others also check. Others can whether somebody
Same,
wants some
sir.
other answer. Okay, no issue. So up to this we were supposed to go. After finding out moment of inertia about both the axes, it is necessary to find radius of gyration. So calculations we have to do very carefully, and then it is very easy to find that as well. Any issue, any problem? Are you getting? So from where we have to start and from where we have to stop? कुठून चालू होतोय प्रॉब्लेम आणि कुठं संपतोय लक्षात येतंय का?
Yes, sir.
Shall I give one problem?
Yes, sir.
Shaded area. Shaded area. Shall we take one problem for shaded area? It may be little difficult to find. We will see how it is. Determine mi on k of given shaded area about x and y axis.
सर होमवर्कला दिलेलं घ्या की क्वेश्चन.
Actually, that question if I will take, then it is lot of challenging are there in that. Actually, I don't want to take that question, but intentionally I thought here unnecessary confusion will happen. So that time I have asked if you are able to solve, you can. Otherwise, leave it because
सर
many
आन्सर
more.
सांगा, मी काढला चेक करता.
Okay,
Hi,
just
sir.
wait then. On that day I was feeling just I have to then check. Okay, here what? I can't minimize this window. I have to close meeting. So it will not be good. To tell you answer, I have to close window. Yes, I have to close meeting. I can't minimize here something. Is it okay? Shall we discuss? Otherwise, our midterm test, if it is possible for me to open that midterm test, shall we discuss?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, if it is opening, we will discuss, because to tell you answer, I have to close meeting. If I have to close lecture, I can't open here other things unless and until I will not close meeting. Let us say. So such problems will be there in the moment of inertia. Many more problems are there. If possible, I will give one or two again. How much your answer, Guru, for that? I'm not remembering, but
Sir, 91.74 and 69.35.
90.
1.74 and 69.35. 35.
Just wait, huh? Uh, 90. 91.74 is one answer. It's coordinate.
And 69.35, sir.
Yes, correct. 91.74 exactly. And 69 point how much?
35.
Yes, 35 or 38. Actually, it is 38. But whether it is easy, if I will take. Otherwise, I don't want to confuse student.
Distance
I have
काढायला
given-
लय अवघड जाते, sir.
No, sir. Not easy.
That's why if you are able to, that's why I told number of right angle, triangle you have to go for. And don't worry if you are not able to leave it, because it is not always possible to get all the problems togetherly. So I hope you have understood this. Shall I give one problem for homework for moment of inertia?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
One
आणि
I
sir,
will give.
तर मग टेस्ट पण एक्सप्लेन करा की.
Okay, just wait. I will. So simple picture. या थोड्या वेळात. Okay, here also I want to give one problem, but it is not possible. So we'll see. Just I will show questions. Here also, if possible, we will see. I don't know. I will share screen. So just check. What you are observing on the screen? So we will see. Are you observing? So directly test I have opened from my email. Are you observing on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And here there may be some whatever marks you got. Actually, highest I have checked 25. I think I have just gone through result. It's a good thing. Some of the questions were challenging. I can understand. Some of the questions were very simple. So both the things I have considered. Students should not get passed. At the same time, students should not get out of marks. Both the care I have taken. Same question paper used by another division. Here you can observing it might be responses 134 responses I have received. Directly I am telling test. So 134 responses means other division. As compared to, I will not tell that division, but our responses are good. Our marks are good. I am happy with the performance of our division. Students solve good questions, but not up to the mark. I was expecting some of the students may get 27, 28, not out of 30 out of 30, but good. Those who got 25 marks, it's good. Those who got less than 15, 12, maybe around 15, so you have to work hard. Okay, almost 50% syllabus I have included in this. Question number 1. So it was just a forma. Question number 1, for fixed support, number of unknown. What was the answer?
3.
3.
3. Fixed support, 2 reactions and 1 movement that we have seen. Whenever there is fixed support, there are 3 unknowns. So answer was for this was, I don't know whether it is showing 3. So tick mark. Okay, that is correct answer. This question, I think in one of the lecture we have discussed. What will be the moment due to 600 Newton force with respect to point O? काय करायचं होतं याच्यामध्ये? If possible, I will check. No, for me it is not possible to write here. मी लिहू शकत नाही on this slide. Okay. तर काय करायचं होतं? Answer was second 2609.84 हे answer होतं. तर काय करायचं होतं? What will be the moment due to 600 Newton force? Here there is a 600 Newton force and we are just supposed to find moment with respect to point O. काय करावं लागलं असतं आपल्याला? What is the definition of moment? Force into perpendicular distance. मग इथं हा force perpendicular आहे का? Or is it possible to get minimum distance between line of action of force and point O? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Not possible. First, what we have to do? We have to resolve this force horizontally and vertically. Both distances are known. इथं काय करावं लागलं असतं? हा force with respect to point A, we have to resolve in x direction and y direction. And then we have to find distances are given 2 and 4. For x component, distance will be 4. For y component, distance will be 2. And how moment will generate with respect to point A? Clockwise or anti-clockwise?
Clockwise.
Clockwise.
Clockwise. So clockwise moment we are taking positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive. त्याचा answer होतं 2609.84. सोडवलं होतं हे?
Yes.
असं टाकलं
Yes,
होतं.
sir.
For probability of 25% probability. 4 पैकी 1 बरोबर असेल. Third one, Lami's theorem can be applied in case of
Three concurrent forces.
Three concurrent. Then and when only we can apply Lami's theorem. There is no rocket science in this. Lami's theorem, three concurrent forces. Coefficient of friction is having unit.
Unitless.
Unitless. It don't have any kind of unit. It is unitless. We have seen this. If angle of friction, what is the symbol of angle of friction?
Phi.
Okay. Then coefficient of friction. Angle of friction is given 15 degree, and we are supposed to find coefficient of friction. What is the relation we have seen? Mu is mu is equal to tan phi. So tan 15, how much it is? Tan 15,
0.26.
0.26.
0.26. A1. A. Next, the principle of moment states that if number of coplanar forces acting on a body are in equilibrium, then algebraic the principle of moment states that if number of coplanar forces acting on a body are in equilibrium, then algebraic sum is zero. Their line of action are at equal distance. Algebraic sum of moment about any point in the plane is zero. Can't say anything. Body is in equilibrium. Okay. So what was the answer? There may be a little confusion.
Yes, sir.
Algebraic sum is zero. Algebraic sum is
0.
zero because body is in equilibrium. Then what is the difference between first and three? Algebraic sum of moments about any point in the plane is zero. If it is the case, then what is the difference between A and C? A and C मग सेमच आहेत.
Yes, sir.
But I think here A and B. C. Maybe this problem is from university. I have kept as it is. But both are same, no? Is there any difference A and C? It is saying about any point. It is saying, I will check. According to me, also A. We will see. There may be a little confusion here. Both the sentences are looking same. Okay. For any system of coplanar forces, the condition of equilibrium is that. Many more time. Condition of equilibrium. क्या असायला पाहिजे हो?
All of the above.
In equilibrium, all of the above. Three conditions we have seen: summation fx, y, and summation moment. Next, beam continues over more than two support. सांगितलं होतं बघा बऱ्याच वेळा. जर
Continuous
दोन
beam.
पेक्षा जास्त सपोर्ट असेल तर त्याला बीम म्हणतो आपण
Continuous.
continuous beam. Next, to solve a truss by method of joint, the number of unknown forces at a joint should not be म्हणजे मेथड ऑफ जॉईंट मध्ये एखाद्या जॉईंटच्या ठिकाणी आपल्याला सोडवायचं आहे.
More than 3.
शुड नॉट बी मोर दॅन. तुम्हाला सांगा, हिअर लिटल कन्फ्युजन अगेन. इज इट पॉसिबल टू अप्लाय थर्ड कंडिशन ऑफ इक्विलिब्रियम ऍट जॉईंट? एखाद्या जॉईंटला आपण तिसरं इक्वेशन अप्लाय करू शकतो का? समेशन ऑफ मोमेंट इक्वल टू 0. जॉईंट साठी बोलतोय बरं का, स्पेशली जॉईंट, बिकॉज इट इज टोल्ड टू सॉल्व अ ट्रस बाय मेथड ऑफ जॉईंट. मेथड ऑफ जॉईंट म्हणजे आपण जॉईंट बाय जॉईंट घेतो. इज इट करेक्ट? वी आर कन्सिडरिंग ईच वन बाय वन. इट्स ओके. नंबर वन, if it is the case, then how many unknowns should be there at that joint? म्हणजे आपण किती इक्वेशन अप्लाय करू शकू त्या जॉईंटला? 3 का 2?
2.
Two.
तूच ना मग. मोर दॅन 3 कसं काय म्हणता तुम्ही? आपण 2च इक्वेशन, एखाद्या पॉइंटला आपण मोमेंट इक्वेशन कसं अप्लाय करू? बिकॉज नंबर ऑफ फोर्सेस आर पासिंग थ्रू दॅट पॉइंट ओनली. So third equation we can't apply, though it is with us. The answer should be more than 2 or 3. काय पाहिजे आन्सर याचं?
More than 2.
More than 2. More than 2 पाहिजे आन्सर याचं. You can cross check. Next, a framed structure is imperfect.
सर मोर दॅन 2 करेक्ट आहे, पण मोर दॅन 3 का नाही?
का नाही? कारण आपण समेशन ऑफ मोमेंट आपण तिथं अप्लाय करू शकणार नाही ना तिथं.
More
कारण
than
आपण
more than 3 पण येतेच की सर.
हा सर, बी अँड सी यायला पाहिजे मग.
मोर दॅन 3 म्हणजे तुमचं असं म्हणणं आहे की 3 असले तर अप्लाय करू शकता थोडक्यात.
नाही, आता
नाही
more than
sir,
2
पण
म्हणजे
ते-
त्याच्यात 3 आणि more than 3 येतेच की.
नाही मी काय म्हंटल मग, तुमचं म्हणणं आहे की त्या पॉइंटला मोर दॅन 3 फोर्स नसावेत. याचं दुसरं मिनिंग काय होतं या सेंटेन्सचं? म्हणजे 3 असलं तर चालतंय, असं होतंय का? म्हणजे मी म्हणतोय ते.
More than
नाही
2
sir.
येते.
सर आन्सर मोर दॅन 2 येत आहे, पण ऑप्शन बी अँड सी दोन्ही करेक्ट येत आहे.
मोर दॅन 3 माझंही काय काय आता मी सांगतो सोप्यात. तुम्ही म्हणताय मोर दॅन 3 नसावेत, मग 3 असले तर चालतेत का असं म्हणायचं आहे का तुम्हाला? म्हणजे याचं मिनिंग असं होतंय का? मोर
सर
दॅन
3
3
असेल चालतंय म्हणलंच नाही सर आम्ही.
तुम्ही पण त्याचं मिनिंग इनडायरेक्टली तसं होते.
नाही सर, ते मिनिंग येणारच नाही की सर तसं. तसं मिनिंगच येणार नाही. आम्ही 3 असावं म्हणलोच नाही, फक्त मोर दॅन 3 नसावं.
मोर दॅन 3 नसावं, मग 3 असावं का? 3 असावेत का मग?
सर आम्ही मोर दॅन 3 नसावं म्हणतोय, 3 म्हणलोच
सर,
नाही, 3च येतच नाही सर.
अजून
मग बी
एकदा
अँड सी
concept
करेक्ट येते
सांगा
सर.
ना.
Okay. Again, I will check. More than 2. Answer is more than 2. But my this is saying is that more than 3. It means 3 are allowed. हे तुम्ही बघतो. तुम्ही जर more than 3 नसावेत असं म्हणत असाल तर तुम्हाला 3 अलाव आहेत असं त्याचं मिनिंग होते अकॉर्डिंग टू मी. आय विल आस्क वन मोर एक्सपर्ट. मी सेम सेंटेन्स एका एक्सपर्टला विचारून बघतो. एक्सपर्ट इन द सेन्स सम अदर पर्सन. डोंट टेक एक्सपर्ट मीन्स आय एम नॉट गोइंग टू आस्क आइन्स्टाईन. कुणाला विचारणार नाही. आय विल चेक दिस बिकॉज अकॉर्डिंग टू मी मिनिंग इज समथिंग लाईक दॅट. तुम्ही मोर दॅन 3 म्हणताय तर तुम्हाला 3 अलाउड आहे. हा,
तो कन्सेप्ट अजून एकदा सांगा.
कुठला?
9th क्वेश्चनचा.
हो का? आपण मेथड ऑफ जॉईंट मध्ये काय करतो सांगा? कशी आपण मेंबर मधले फोर्स काढतो, फाइंड आउट करतो? जॉईंट बाय जॉईंट करतो, बरोबर आहे? नाही जॉईंट घेतो आपण. प्रत्येक जॉईंट एका नंतर एक घेतो, हे तर मान्य आहे तुम्हाला?
हा,
आपण एकदम 2 जॉईंट कन्सिडर करतो का? आपण मेथड ऑफ सेक्शन मध्ये घेतो बघा, 2-3 जॉईंट किंवा मेंबरच घेतो एखादा डायरेक्टली. मेथड ऑफ सेक्शन मध्ये, जॉईंट मध्ये घेतो का तसं? जॉईंट
नाही.
मध्ये काय करतो? मेथड ऑफ जॉईंट मध्ये प्रत्येक जॉईंट एका पाठीमागे एक कन्सिडर करतो. मग तुम्ही जर एक जॉईंट घेतला, मी ते लिहू शकत नाही आता. मी जर एक जॉईंट कन्सिडर केला तर त्याच्या ठिकाणी तुम्ही 2च इक्वेशन अप्लाय करू शकता. एक म्हणजे समेशन एफ एक्स इक्वल टू 0 आणि समेशन एफ वाय इक्वल टू 0. तुम्ही समेशन ऑफ मुवमेंट ऑफ फोर्सेस, समेशन एम काय अप्लाय करू शकत नाही? कारण सगळेच फोर्सेस त्या जॉईंट मधूनच पास होतात. म्हणजे तुम्हाला ते इक्वेशन काय देऊ शकतं का? त्याचा उपयोग आहे का त्या जॉईंटच्या ठिकाणी?
नो सर.
नो.
सगळे फोर्सेस तुमचे कॉन्करंटच होतात जॉईंटला. सगळे फोर्सेस त्या जॉईंट मधूनच पास होतात, म्हणजे तुम्हाला थर्ड इक्वेशनचा उपयोगच होत नाही. म्हणून या केसमध्ये जरी तुमच्याकडे कंडिशन्स ऑफ इक्वेशन्स ऑफ कंडिशन किती आहेत? 3 आहेत, पण तुम्ही तिसरा अप्लाय करू शकत नाही, 2च अप्लाय करू शकता. म्हणून इथं मोर दॅन 2 असा आन्सर आलेला आहे. थर्ड तुमच्या कामाचं नाही इक्वेशन. अँड दिस आय विल चेक दिस सेंटेन्स व्हॉट एव्हर वी आर डिस्कसिंग. Okay. Next, 3 types of structures we have seen. A framed structure is imperfect if numbers of members are. आता हे काय बघा,
Either B
redundant,
or
perfect.
Either B or C.
What I want to tell, three structures. One is redundant, I think. More. Then less असेल तर काय म्हणतो आपण? Number of members are not sufficient. Then what we are saying? Imperfect. And equal to असेल तर perfect. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
लेस असल्यानंतर आपण इम्परफेक्ट म्हणतो ना.
Deficient.
Deficient.
Deficient म्हणतो.
Yes, yes, sorry. Deficient. Yes, we are calling it as a deficient, perfect, and redundant. Imperfect means not perfect means both the conditions. Yes, correct. Means either it will be less or greater. Correct. I forgotten the word deficient. If it is less, then it is deficient. If it is more, redundant. Unnecessary members are there. And if it is perfect, m is equal to 2j minus 3. Okay. Truss is used for. Truss is used for. हे सांगितलं होते दोन पटकन.
Both A and C.
We have discussed this to transfer and to distribute the force that we have seen. D option is correct. D. This you can. What is refer the feeling? Okay. What will be the value of coefficient of friction mu of given? कसं काढता येईल बघा. P दिलेला आहे. R mu R. Okay. What is the formula we are applying here?
Condition of equilibrium.
What is that? F is equal to mu R. So what is R? 200. What is F? This P. Means I think 52 divided by 200. How much it is coming? This
0.26.
0.26.
52 0.26. Option second. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
आता आपण प्रॉब्लेम सोडवले. आता हे प्रॉब्लेम बघा. सोपे होते. आय होप मी स्टँडर्ड जॉमेट्री फक्त रोटेट केल्या होत्या, नथिंग एल्स. राईट अँगल ट्रायंगल, जिथं राईट अँगल ट्रायंगल आहे, राईट अँगल आहे तिथून किती अंतरावर सीज असतो? 1/3 1/3 1/3 of 15 5 15 minus 5 10 and 1/3 of 18 is 6 18 minus 6 12. म्हणजे 10 आणि 12 असणारा ऑप्शन नंबर 1 याचा बरोबर होता. फर्स्ट हे काढता येईल कसं असतं, मी दाखवलं होतं एका लेक्चरला.
येस सर.
व्हेरी सिम्पल. जस्ट आय हॅव रोटेटेड द फिगर, नथिंग एल्स. याचंही सेमच आहे बघा. आय डोंट नो आन्सर बट इट इज ऑल्सो सेम. 4r divided by 3 pi and 1 radius 10. म्हणजे याचा ऑप्शन फर्स्ट किंवा थर्ड मधला एक असणार आहे, दुसरा नाही. ऑप्शन पहिला. कॅल्क्युलेशन करायची सुद्धा गरज नाही. एक्स कोऑर्डिनेट हा रेडियस एवढ्या अंतरावर असणार आहे. असे दोनच ऑप्शन आहेत, पहिला आणि तिसरा. परंतु तिसरा बघा ऑप्शन, तिसऱ्यामध्ये 10 10 लिहिलेलं आहे. बोथ ऑप्शन आर 10 10 असू शकत नाही. 10 10 इट मीन्स ऑप्शन ए इज करेक्ट. सोडवायची सुद्धा गरज नाही. फर्स्ट ऑप्शन विल बी करेक्ट. आर यू वेटिंग?
Yes, sir.
येस सर.
नेक्स्ट व्हेरी सिम्पल, स्टँडर्डच आहे, ह्याच्यात काय वाद नाही. पहिलाच ऑप्शन करेक्ट असणार आहे याच्यामध्ये. 5.75 5.75 स्टँडर्ड. रोटेट केलेलं नाही डायग्राम, काय नाही. नेक्स्ट या डायग्रामचं काय कोण सांगतंय कसं असेल? सेंट्रॉइड विदर डायग्राम इज सिमेट्रिकल अबाउट बोथ.
येस सर.
Yes, sir.
सोडवायची सुद्धा गरज नव्हती. मी ऑलरेडी इथे जीस दाखवलेला आहे त्याचा. हॉरिझॉन्टल किती आहे? 6 + 6 + 18. हाऊ मच? 30. हॉरिझॉन्टल 30 आहे टोटल. 13च्या हाफ 15. दोनच ऑप्शन 3 आहेत. ओके. आणि व्हर्टिकल किती आहे आपलं? 12. 12च्या निम्म 6. 15 आणि 6 ऑप्शन असणारा कुठला आहे? चौथा. फोर्थ ऑप्शन इज करेक्ट. तोंडी उत्तर मिळते. ऑब्जेक्ट दोन्ही ऍक्सिसला सिमेट्रिकल आहे, त्याचा मिड पॉइंट काढायचा दोन्हीचा. ऑप्शन फोर्थ इज करेक्ट. आर यू विथ मी?
येस सर.
Yes, sir.
लोकेट द सेंट्रॉइड ऑफ ग्रॅव्हिटी. व्हेरी सिम्पल. मागाचा प्रश्न अवघड होता, त्याला सोपा करून विचारलाय. 5 6 5 6 ऑप्शन असणार. आय थिंक नंबर 1 पहिलाच ऑप्शन आहे बघा. मगाचा अवघड होता, हा उलट सोपा करून विचार. नेक्स्ट, these questions related to लॅमिस थेरम. अँगल काढायचा होता, इथला असेल कॉर्नरचा 90, अँगल काढायचा, इक्वेशन फॉर्म करायचे. लॅमिस थेरम, you know 200 Newton force and angle only, finding out the angle was only difficult, otherwise nothing. त्याच्यामध्ये वेगळं असं काही नव्हतं. लामिस थेरम अप्लाय करू शकला होता तुम्ही? कुठं प्रॉब्लेम आला होता का?
Yes,
2-3
sir.
प्रॉब्लेम होता कुठं? वेअर वेअर यू फेस? इथं आला नाही सोडवता
अप्लाय केला आम्ही असं.
त्याला, हा सुटला असेल. इथं काय कुठला कन्सेप्ट वापरायचा होता रिएक्शन काढताना? एक वाक्य सांगितलं होतं बघा.
सरफेसनं
Angle
हॉरिझॉन्टल
same.
अँगल केलाय त्याच्या रिएक्शन व्हर्टिकलशी, तेवढाच केला होता.
तेवढाच कन्सेप्ट होता इथं. एखाद्या प्लेननं हॉरिझॉन्टलशी केलेला अँगल हा त्या प्लेन वरील रिएक्शनने व्हर्टिकलशी केलेला अँगल सेम असतो. ज्याला हे वाक्य लक्षात राहिलं होतं त्याला हा प्रॉब्लेम लगेच सुटला असेल. अगेन लामिस थेरम. हिअर ऑल्सो अगेन लामिस थेरम. 3 फोर्सेस रिएक्शन आरसी दिस. इथं सुद्धा लामिस थेरम आहे, सिंपल आहे. आयडेंटिफाय झिरो फोर्स मेंबर आपण डिस्कस केलं होतं याच्यामध्ये. तर 2 गोष्टी लक्षात ठेवायच्या. हा ऍक्च्युली युनिव्हर्सिटीचा प्रॉब्लेम होता 12 मार्काचा. तर मी एका मार्कासाठी फक्त आयडेंटिफाय करा म्हटलं होतं. मी कन्सेप्ट सांगितला होता बघा त्या दिवशी. 2 गोष्टी असतात झिरो फोर्स मेंबरला, अजून ऐका व्यवस्थित. ऍट अ पॉइंट, इफ देर इज ऍट अ पॉइंट 3 मेंबर्स आर देअर. एखाद्या पॉइंटला 3 मेंबर एकत्र येत असतील आणि 3 पैकी 2 जर कोलिनियर असतील. काय म्हणतोय बघा मी, एखाद्या पॉइंटला जर 3 मेंबर येत असतील एकत्र आणि त्या 3 पैकी 2 जर कोलिनियर असतील तर तिसरा मेंबर मधला फोर्स हा 0 असतो. आता असा पॉइंट सांगा मला याच्यामध्ये कुठला आहे? असा कुठला पॉइंट आहे की जिथं 3 मेंबर एकत्र येत आहेत आणि
FB.
त्यातले 2 मेंबर हे कोलिनियर आहेत? कुठल्या 2 कंडिशन असतात? झिरो फोर्स मेंबरच्या कुठल्या 2 कंडिशन आहेत सांगा बरं आता. Forget about answer. Which 2 conditions are there for zero force member? एखाद्या पॉइंटला किती मेंबर एकत्र आले पाहिजेत?
3
3. आणि 3 पैकी 2 कसे पाहिजेत?
कोलिनियर.
कोलिनियर.
कोलिनियर. तिसऱ्या मधला फोर्स 0. याचं उत्तर येतं FB. इथे FB हे उत्तर आहे बघा. व्हर्टिकल. याचं उत्तर FB हे 0 येतं. या 2 कंडिशन लक्षात ठेवा, लिहून घ्या नोटबुक मध्ये. नेक्स्ट, what will be the reactions A and B if weight of the sphere? सिंपल. याच्यात काही चॅलेंज नव्हतं. माझा नोटबुक मध्ये लगेच हा प्रश्न सोडवू शकतो. लामिस थेरम, नथिंग एल्स. परत लामिस थेरम, काही सुद्धा अवघड नव्हतं. इंटेन्शनली आय हॅव केप्ट सिंपल प्रॉब्लेम फॉर 1 मार्क. कुठलाही मला प्रॉब्लेम चॅलेंजिंग वाटला नाही. लामिस थेरम वापरायचा इथे. नेक्स्ट वन इज दिस. अगेन सिंपल लामिस थेरम. वाटला का यामध्ये चॅलेंजिंग कुठला? इथं पण लामिस थेरम, 3च फोर्स, प्रत्येक याच्यामध्ये लामिस थेरम आहे बघा.
यस सर.
हिअर ऑल्सो यू माइट हॅव गॉट आन्सर. सिंपल आहे. इथं सुद्धा रिएक्शन फाइंड आउट करा म्हटलं होतं फक्त. ही 2च फोर्स आहे. इकडे 20 किलो न्यूटन आणि इकडे 15 बसलाय. ओके. कुठं काय प्रॉब्लेम आला होता का रिएक्शन फाइंड आउट करायला? नसेल तर परत एकदा आपण सोडवू. सिंपल आहे. याच्यामध्ये एका मार्काला टाकले, दॅट आय कॅन अंडरस्टँड. इथं बघा, हा थोडासा वेगळा वाटला असेल. हा सोडवलाय का प्रॉब्लेम आपण?
हा सर प्रॅक्टिस टेस्ट मध्ये होता हा.
ओके.
हा सर.
ओके, नो इश्यू. सोडवला असेल तर इथेही काय करायचं होतं की रिझॉल्व्ह करायचं होता फोर्स आणि मागासारखा दोन्हीच काढायचं. हा प्रॉब्लेम सोडवला होता का आपण 30 नंबरचा?
सर प्रॅक्टिस टेस्ट मध्येच होतं काय तर.
प्रॅक्टिस टेस्ट मध्येच होता
हा
हा
पण
पण.
होता. ओके, नो इश्यू देन. मला वाटलं हा नवीन
सर
असेल.
27.
हा सर 27.
याचं काय झालंय?
ह्याचा आन्सर आमचं 35 येत होतं, पण इथं नाही येत. तो सीच्या ठिकाणी फोर्सच नाही दिला आणि तो नाही कन्सिडर करून काढलं तर आन्सर 35 येते, पण ते ऑप्शन मध्ये नाहीये.
हा सर सेम.
ओके. मे बी ऑप्शन 35 येते काय त्यांचं?
हो सर माझं 35 चालतं.
Okay. There is maybe an option, I think maybe instead of 35, no option is there. It may happen. हे काही क्वेश्चन कुठून घेतले नाही. Some of the questions I prepared and some of the questions I have taken.
तर तिथं कोणताच फोर्स नाहीये पण पॉइंट दिलाय. आय थिंक तिथे राहिले.
नाही असं काही नाही. पॉइंट आहे याचा अर्थ रिएक्शनच असावी असा काही नियम नाही. दोन सपोर्ट आहेत ना याला, असंही असू शकतं. तुमचा आन्सर 35 आला असेल बरोबर आहे, पण इथं रिएक्शनच असायला पाहिजे असा काही नियम नाही. इट मे बी ओनली एंड बी, दोनच ठिकाणी रिएक्शन असू शकतात. म्हणजे याला ओव्हरहँगिंग बीम म्हणू शकतो ना. वाय इट इज नेसेसरी टू गिव्ह सपोर्ट. ओव्हरहँगिंग बीमचं एक्झाम्पल असू शकतं. ओव्हरहँगिंग बीम आपण शिकलोय ना, ओव्हरहँगिंग बीम बियॉन्ड सपोर्ट. Not necessary there should be a support. It may be and then maybe it may be mistake, but let it be. It was for we can say for your practice to judge yourself. I can understand midterm test was little hard. बरेचसे प्रॉब्लेम टाकले होते, but you have scored a good. तुमचा स्कोर जर in between I will say 18 or maybe suppose 15 to 25, so you are on track. जर तुम्ही 15च्या खाली असताल maybe then you have to work hard. मी एवढं सांगेन या ठिकाणी. With this I will tell from next lecture. हा बोला कोण आहे?
30चा आन्सर किती होता?
30चा आन्सर सेकंड येते सेकंड 13.46. याचं काय करायचं होतं, आता बऱ्याच जणांना माहित नसलं तर क्वेश्चन सांगतो. पेंटॅगॉन आहे. रेग्युलर पेंटॅगॉनचा इंटरनल अँगल आपण कॅल्क्युलेट केला होता, आठवतंय कोणाला? 108.
येस
सर
108 सांगतो थोडक्यात. आणि आपल्याला काय विचारलंय, कॅल्क्युलेट द एक्स कंपोनंट ऑफ रिझल्टंट. याचा रिझल्टंटचा एक्स कंपोनंट काढायचा म्हणजे काय करायचंय हो? रिझल्टंटचा एक्स कंपोनंट काढायचा म्हणजे काय करायचंय? एक्स कंपोनंट, सगळ्या एक्स कंपोनंटची बेरीज करायची थोडक्यात. इन शॉर्ट आपण पाहिलं होतं बघा, सगळ्या एक्स कंपोनंटची फक्त बेरीज करायची. आता याचा जर तुम्हाला काढायचं असेल, 6 किलो न्यूटनने हॉरिझॉन्टलचे किती अँगल केलाय, कसा काढायचं सांगा बरं? हा 108 आला इथला.
108 डिवाइड बाय 3.
108 डिवाइड बाय 3 कुठून आणलं? इथला आणि हा इक्वल, राहिलेले 180 मधून मायनस करायचा 108 आणि राहिलेल्याचे 2 भाग करायचे, कारण ह्या साइड इक्वल असतात रेग्युलर पेंटॅगॉन. आय थिंक 76 का काहीतरी येतोय समथिंग, दॅट यू कॅन चेक.
सर
हा
तुम्ही आम्हाला आमचे आन्सर शीट शेअर करू शकत नाही का, जसं मॅथ्सचं करताय ते? म्हणजे आम्हाला अजून पण नाही कळत की आमचे मार्क्स कुठे गेलेत. आम्ही
हा,
डबल
सर.
चेक करू शकतो.
म्हणजे मी बघतो मग कसे ते शीट्स आहे, तुम्हाला दाखवू शकतो, पण ते मॅन्युअली विल सी आहे शीट, पण त्याच्यामध्ये सगळेच आहेत. आता बऱ्याच डिव्हिजन हाच पेपर वापरलेला आहे, त्यांची तुम्हाला मग तुमचं मी दाखवून देतो. पण 1-2 मार्क हिअर अँड देअर, डोंट वरी. त्याचा दुसरा मार्क इकडे तिकडे झाला असेल.
सर हे अँगल फाइंड करता येत आहे 108 ने.
हा 108 ने हा अँगल, इथला अँगल आता मी तर लिहू शकत नाही. इथला अँगल पण फाइंड आउट करू शकताय तुम्ही 180 मधून.
सर
हा
ते कम्प्लीट 108 आहे ना सर?
कुठला? हा ना,
हा सर, इकडच्या बाजूला बघा तेच पॉइंट. मग तिन्ही अँगल हे मधनं तिन्ही जे लाईन्स गेलेत ते तिन्ही अँगल सेम असणार. 108/3 येते सर. 36.
okay, that is also good, but all of you may not be possible to apply the logic. Okay, any issue? Almost statics we have covered. From next lecture we will start dynamics. You can practice. I will put assignment booklet as well. Many more things are there in statics. Staticsचा जेवढा अभ्यास करताल तेवढा कमीच आहे, but we should not make injustice with dynamics. आपण फक्त स्टॅटिक्स करून डायनॅमिक्स वर पण अन्याय करायला नको. फ्रॉम नेक्स्ट लेक्चर वी विल स्टार्ट डायनॅमिक्स. वेदर इट विल बी ओके? आपण एक वर्ष जरी शिकलो स्टॅटिक्स तरी संपणार नाही स्टॅटिक्स, एवढं स्टॅटिक्स मोठं आहे. ऑलमोस्ट 60 लेक्चर्स I have taken till now. 60 लेक्चर झालेत आतापर्यंत आणि आपल्याला युनिव्हर्सिटीने किती लेक्चर दिलेत यू माइट बी नोईंग. ओनली University मध्ये 40, but it is not possible to complete within 40. Only statics. We have taken 60. Hereafter, many more lectures are required. I think it is your lunch break. We will stop. Quickly, just I will highlight the roll number. If you want to tell something, you can. Roll number 12 absent. 26. Yes, present 27, 28. Okay, you can leave. I have taken attendance. 36 I am not observing. Okay, shall we stop then? Thank you very much.